My name is Keiichiro Tamaru from DPI, Disabled People's International Japan. I'm working as a secretariat of the, and I'm in charge of the international relationships and also working for the advocacy, advocating the rights for the person with disabilities in Japan.
Okay. Um, Please tell us about the situation of people with disabilities in Japan and in North Asian countries.
UN, under the UN, we have the Convention on the Rights of the Person with Disabilities, but still, like even most of countries having the violating the rights of the person with disabilities. Even in Japan, we are still waiting for the ratification. But anyway, we have the many issues, and so we have facing the many issues some people are still in the institutions and many in other countries also like that people cannot access into the information or building or they cannot use the public transportation because of the lack of the accessibility.
Okay. So, what do you think the biggest issues people with disabilities facing, focusing on the in Japan and in North Asian countries?
As I said, like its biggest issue would be like that maybe people inclusive society is not achieved in the any countries for four countries because that people cannot live independently. Many people are staying in institutions and or people with psychiatric disabilities have to be in the hospital for a long time for like even more than 30 years or 40 years. So many people are staying in home or institutions or the hospital, so they cannot go out. So they don't. The people without disabilities don't see the people with disabilities. That's the biggest issue.
Thank you. So, what do you expect for the future?
Right now in Japan, they try to change the situation. So the government try to set the kind of the participation for the policy making processes in 2010. From 2010 we have the ministerial board for policy making processes for policy reform, and we have the committee, and in the committee we have the person with disability representatives of the disability people's organizations are majority of the kind of committee. That's the one of the big changes. So, to achieve the social participation for every country, we need to have such a committee to join the reflect our opinions into the policy making processes.
Okay. So, what can we do for people with disabilities?
Of course, like this at this conference or in any big conferences for under UN or any policy making processes, the participation of the many groups, such of course including person with disabilities, is very very important. So I'm very appreciating this kind of the opportunities, having these opportunities, because even not only me, other people with the people with disabilities are joining into this conference. I'm very appreciating. So that's going to be achieving the, and that's the big step to go forward of the taking care of the vulnerable groups, because they are taking care of the accessibilities. And if there was a person with the wheelchair user, like the building or should be accessible, and if because of me, I'm asking the kind of information as a text files or document file. So that can be a one step to be taking care of the accessibilities and the inclusion of the any kind of the need person with having any kind of different needs. So that's my point.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you for sharing your information.
Thank you very much.